So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to send in products to the FBA Amazon warehouse. Now the first time you do this, the process can very easily seem overwhelming. And that's because you've got shipment plans to go and create, you've got products to go and label, you've got contents to go and fill in, and finally shipments to book. And if you get any of this wrong, well, Amazon can either go and reject your delivery, they can go and lose stock, or potentially delay your delivery getting into Amazon by a few days. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through the process step by step from creating your plan on Seller Central to getting those boxes on the truck into Amazon. Let's get into the video. So before we talk about doing stuff on Amazon, we're going to talk about some equipment that is very, very useful and actually vital to go and make your shipments. So the first piece of equipment is a printer. Now it's very popular amongst FBA sellers to go and use a thermal printer like this. This is because it does not use ink, therefore keeping your costs down, and it also prints two different size labels. So once you open it up, you can see we can either have it nice and small here. This is going to allow us to go and print labels for products, or what we can do is we can go and make it wider, and this is going to go and allow us to print labels for the boxes. But if you don't have a thermal printer, you can go and use an A4 printer. Just amongst more experienced Amazon sellers, a thermal printer is definitely the go-to. So the next piece of equipment that is very useful to have is a tape measure. This is because you need to send Amazon all your details regarding what the length is, what the height is, and what the width is. And in the same breath, you also want to have yourself some scales. That's because you need to go and tell Amazon what the weight of the parcel is. Because with the weight of the parcel and the dimensions, it helps Amazon know how much to go and charge you for shipping. And to be able to go and ship these items in, well, you need some certain things to be able to go and send them in, such as boxes, such as tape, such as bubble wrap for products that are going to easily break, and also filler to go and fill up the rest of the boxes to protect them in the shipment. So now we're going to be talking about how to go and make a shipment plan. Now, Amazon doesn't actually know all the products that you want to be able to go and sell on there. So what you need to do is you need to go and tell Amazon the products that you want to go and sell. So when you are selling and sending in items to Amazon, Amazon doesn't actually know what you want to go and send in. So what you need to go and do is you need to go and make an active product listing. So how do we go and make an active product listing? Well, we make an active product listing by clicking on the top left. And then what we're going to go to is we're going to go to catalog, and then we're going to go to add products. Now, once we get here, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us multiple ways to tell us what we want to send it to Amazon. Now, one of my favorite ways is just using the barcode. If you type the barcode on the product in there, more likely than not, you're going to have the product popping up. But you can also just use words from the Amazon listing itself. You can go and look for the FN SKU. You can look for the ASIN. There are many ways of adding what products you want to be able to sell over onto here. So I'm going to be using the ASIN option, and that is the ASIN that I want to go and sell in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and press enter, and that's going to say, okay, do you want to go and add this to an active listing? And the answer is yes. Now, I could be sending it new, I could be sending it in used, but more likely than not, you're probably going to be sending in your products brand new. So then you're going to go and click on sell your product, and it is going to go and take us to this form right here. This form, we've got loads of things, but it's really, really simple. So the top one is, are we selling it on Amazon, or are we selling it Amazon business to business? Obviously, this is personal preference, but the default is to sell it on Amazon. So the next thing we move on to is the SKU. This is basically how you can identify your product amongst your catalog, especially a really nice and easy way. Now, personally, how I like to set up the SKU is I like to put where I bought it from, what I paid for it, and what I want to sell it for. And that's because it's really useful to have all those details attached to it. In fact, we're going to show you later in the video, but by putting what we bought this for, it makes it really easy to add both cost of goods, and we can add where we bought it for over on SellerToolKit. So in this example, we're going to make up that we bought it from Joseph. We're going to buy it for £30 and we're going to sell it for £60. Now again, you can put whatever you want in this SKU. It's just that I personally would say it's quite useful to actually put some relative information. You then can go and decide if you want it fulfilled by Amazon or fulfilled by merchant. Of course, in today's tutorial, we're talking about fulfilled by Amazon, so we're going to go and select that. And this is where you decide what stores you want to go and sell it on. Now, of course, you've got your default store, but if you want, you can go and sell it on multiple other stores. And this is where you go and select what stores you want to sell it on. Now, once you've done all that, you're then going to go and add in your price. Now, be very careful here if you do go and put the wrong price and you go and list the item, especially if you don't go and change it when you're in your inventory, then it will get listed for that price. For example, when I was first starting off, I accidentally set the price of one of my items to my sourcing price rather than what I wanted to list it for. Wasn't the end of the world, but I definitely missed out on profit. So like we said earlier, we're going to go and set the selling price to £60. So once you fill in this whole form, then what we can do is you need to press ready to submit and then go and list as FBA. So now we successfully added this product to our catalog. Basically what you can do is you're now going to go and add all the products that you want to go and send in the shipment, just following the steps I've just showed you. So once you've added all the products to the catalog that you want to go and send in the shipment, you now want to head to shipments. So to do that, we're going to head to inventory. We're then going to scroll down here to shipment, and that is then going to go and take us here. We're now going to go to send to Amazon, and now this is going to allow us to start creating the shipment. And as you can see right here, we've got that product that we added earlier. Now to go and find other products you want, you can go onto the right and you can go and search via ASIN, you can go and search via title, you can go and search via SKU. Basically what you can do is you want to go and find all the products that you want to go. So once you've added the product to your catalog, you now need to go and work on the prep and labeling. So we're going to go and click on this right here. You're going to go and choose the prep type. Now for this, there will be no prep needed. If there was glass though, I would then have to go and bubble wrap it. And if it's a liquid product, for example, maybe a shampoo or conditioner, then maybe you want to go and put it in a poly bag. We're going to go and press save, and that's going to go and take us here. Who's going to go and label the units? Well, I'm going to go and label them myself. So we're going to leave that as by seller. And that now leaves us to prep not required, units labeling by seller, which is perfect. So now that we sorted out the prep settings, we now need to go and input how many units we're sending in. So in this example, I'm going to go and put in 2. But if I accidentally went and put in 1 and send in 2 units, well, this is now going to go and create a discrepancy. And these discrepancies don't go and sort themselves out. And if that happens, well, then you need to make a case with Amazon, and it takes time to get resolved and for your inventory to then go live. Before we keep going, if you want to make sure that every unit that you send into Amazon is properly tracked and is accounted for, well, check out SellerToolKit in the link in the description. It automatically compares what you set in against what Amazon has received. What it does is it flags any discrepancies and then goes and creates a case for you to be able to get any reimbursements on stock that Amazon has lost. And you can start a free trial right now without any payment details required. Make sure to go and click on the link in the description, and let's get back underway the video. So once you've gone and selected the correct amount of units that you are sending in, you want to go and press ready to pack. Now, Amazon isn't going to be able to decipher your chopping boards from someone else's chopping boards. So what we need to go and down do is we need to go and print a FN SKU label. To do that, we are going to go and head to print SKU labels. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go and put the quantity what, because we need 1 label for every product, which in this scenario, we're going to go for 2. We're then going to go and press on print. We're going to go and save it. Once saved, you're then going to go and load it up, and you're then going to go and print it. Now, when you do get to the printing settings, make sure that they're filling up the page. For example, if I was going to go and print this, it would just print it in the corner of the page. But once I've got the right settings enabled, well, you can see right now they're filling up the whole page. I'm now going to go and press print, and you're going to go and hear it print. And there we go, just like that, my thermal printer has gone and printed 2 labels for me to go and put on the products. So now that you've printed out the label, you've got to go and apply it to the product. But actually, you've got to be a bit more careful than just putting it anywhere. Now, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're covering the existing label. But the reason you needed to go and cover the existing label is if you don't go and cover it, well, when Amazon go and scan it, they're just going to go and scan the product rather than the product being associated to you, which is what that label we've just printed off is doing. So what you need to make sure you do is you need to make sure that you are sticking over the whole of that previous barcode, because now what's going to happen if they go and scan the previous barcode, because ours is over top of it, it's actually going to go and scan ours instead. The second thing you got to make sure you do is put it on a flat surface. There would be no use putting it on this corner where it starts here and ends here, because Amazon is going to struggle to scan it. And the last thing you need to make sure you do is make sure that you're actually putting the right label on the right product. Last thing you're going to do is go and send out 40-50 units under the completely wrong barcode, because if you go and do that, you're going to have to send them back. And 1, that is going to put a delay on being able to sell the products. 2, if customers go and buy them, they're going to be unhappy that they're getting sent the wrong thing. And 3, you are going to have to go and pay a fee on the removal of those products. Before you do start packing, you do want to check what the prep requirements are. For example, if you're sending in some glass goods, you want to be bubble wrapping them. Now, what's the point of doing this? Well, once they go and get those units, they might just flat out refuse them. If not, you'll be hit with a non-compliance charge. Or alternatively, maybe you're going and selling a bundle of items. So I've got 2 right here. So here, we'd have to have the normal barcode we apply and another label that's saying that this is a set, do not split them. Whereas at the warehouse, potentially they would go and see them take out the bag and think that they're two individual products. Well, by having that this is a set, do not split, hopefully it will stop them from doing that. But it's not too hard to go and find these instructions. It says it on the main menu, and if you go and click on the items individually, whereas this right here, because it's a bunch of glasses, it says to go and bubble wrap the items. So once your items are labeled and prepped like we have here, now you can start packing your boxes. So the first main important one is the weight of the box. Every box needs to come under 50 pounds. If it goes over this, well, Amazon can just straight out refuse the delivery. So then we move on to the size of the box. Now, if you don't fill the box enough and there's too much spare room for the products to be able to move around, well, they can become damaged before Amazon even get their hands on them. But then we've got the opposite, where they can be overpacked and they can equally become as damaged, and as a result, Amazon won't sell them. So make sure to take even more care if you are sending fragile goods, such as glass, because if these do become damaged on their way there, well, then you'll either have to go and set up for a reimbursement, or you actually have to go and pay to dispose the goods. So once you've selected all the items that are going to be in your boxes, you then want to go to pack individual units. This is basically going to go and confirm the units, and it's also going to work out if there's any units that have to be put in separate boxes. For example, you might go and have oversized goods in your layout there, you might go and have some hazardous goods, and what it'll do is it'll make sure to know which boxes these certain goods have to get put into. Because in your shipment plan, you might have an oversized good, you also might have a hazardous good, and it won't let you send these with normal standard goods. And therefore what it's going to do is it's going to go and split them into the boxes that they can go into. So now what you can do is you're going to go and select if one box is needed, so are they all fitting in one box, or are you sending in multiple boxes? Now if you are sending in multiple boxes, then you just got to go and tell them how many boxes you're sending in. So let's say, for example, 2. And now what it's going to do is it's going to load up a web form, so it's going to ask how many of each FN SKU is in each box, and how much do those boxes weigh. It's also then going to go and ask you the dimensions, and it's then going to say, well, are those the dimensions for both boxes? And if so, you'd want to go and select both of them. If not, you can go and add another dimension, and you can put the second dimension of the 7 boxes. But in this case, we just have one box. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go and measure out how much each side is, so the length, the width, and the height. And what we're going to do is going to go and put our box on the scales to work out how much it weighs. So this step matters a lot more than people realize, because getting the right dimensions helps speed up the process of getting your products into the warehouse and therefore allowing them to be sold on Amazon. Now, when the information is missing or just inaccurate, what you're going to start seeing is you're going to see the process slowing down, and if there are discrepancies in your box, it's going to make it even harder when you're making a claim. And one form I was giving myself when I really didn't have to was by splitting the same SKU amongst multiple boxes. If I just had one SKU in one box and one in another, then there's a much lower chance of me making any mistakes. Now you're going to go and tell Amazon about how you want to go and ship it. So the first thing you need to do is pick your ship date. Now again, if it is the day that we're on, it's going to be here. If not, you're going to go and choose down the line. And then you're going to go and choose who is going to ship with. Now, Amazon is partnered with DPD and with UPS, allowing you to get really good value for money shipments in comparison to if you were to go and use a third party. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select UPS. In fact, it's so good value for money. If you were to go and ship in about 15 kgs worth of stuff into Amazon, it costs you £3.60. If you did that with a third party, it can cost upwards of £10–20. So really recommended to go and use the partnered shipments. For the majority of sellers, this is going to be the cheapest and the most straightforward way of sending in a shipment, but there is an alternative method if you've got a pallet. And the second method is sorting out a courier outside of Amazon Seller Central. And this is often useful when you have a supplier who is arranging the freight, or you have existing contracts with better rates. So once you pick the date that you want to go and send it in and the courier you want to use, you now want to go and agree with the Amazon terms and conditions and accept the charges and confirm shipment. So now what you can do is print off your shipping labels. Now, it's to be known that these are completely different to the small labels that go on your products. These are larger labels that basically allow Amazon, one, knowing what fulfillment center to send it into, and once it gets to the fulfillment center, they also know who these products coming from. Now, a nice little tip, if you are using one printer, it's probably going to be set up from the FN SKU label size. So what you need to do is you need to resize it so that you can see the whole thing. So for example, this, and now you want to go and print those 2 labels. So now what you've got is you've got 1 or 2 labels printed off. You now need to go and attach these to the box. Now make sure that you do go and apply them to a flat surface so they're easy to scan, and also make sure to not cover them with tape because that will make them harder to scan. So now you've gone and done all this, you're now going to have to go and schedule a collection or go and drop your parcel off. And the very useful information I have right here is the tracking ID. For example, if I'm using UPS, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that tracking ID, I'm going to go and paste it there, and what it's going to do is it's going to give me a free collection, and then I need to go and fill in the rest of my details. So once your shipment is being sent into Amazon, you can actually track the progress of your shipment, and that's by heading to Shipments and Manage Shipments. So when you're tracking your shipment, it will go through multiple different stages. It will go through ready to ship, then it'll go into shipped, then it'll go into in transit, then receiving, and then finally once they have it, it'll go into closed. The receiving stage is when Amazon is checking the units and seeing how many you have of each product. This can normally take a few days, although going into the leading up to Christmas, this can take a bit longer. Now, something most Amazon sellers aren't aware of, and that's that Amazon don't necessarily check in every unit. Sometimes those items will get lost, damaged, or they just simply won't get scanned in. And if you're not tracking this can be very costly because you're losing money that you're not even aware of. But this is one thing that SellerToolKit is made for. It compares your shipments to Amazon's receiving records. And then it automatically identifies the discrepancies and creates a case file ready to go and send in. And this allows you to go and claim reimbursements with Amazon without having to do it manually. And most SellerToolKit users find that they can claim more back than the cost of SellerToolKit itself. So if you want to make sure that every unit that you send into Amazon actually gets accounted for, make sure to click on the link in the description for your free trial of SellerToolKit. There are no payment details required. A lot of sellers are owed money by Amazon but aren't aware of it. But SellerToolKit makes it easy to find out if you're one of them. So again, make sure to click on the link to get started. And if you're interested in a full tutorial on how to get the most out of SellerToolKit, make sure to check out this video here.